Since its debut, Smoke has been a dangerous show, particularly because it didn't get fascinating until the last scene of its second episode. After that, it postponed satisfaction by concentrating mostly on Michelle, despite the fact that the most interesting portion was the discovery that the protagonist and arson investigator Dave Goodson was actually the D&C arsonist that he and his new colleague Michelle Calderon were pursuing. Strawberry, the fourth episode, is supposed to be the reward for the wait and the excursion that provides some insight into Dave's personality. Instead, the entire show suffers as a result of him becoming a silly cartoon villain. It's quite amazing that a program would waste all of its goodwill in this manner, and it's also remarkable how detrimental the impact is, even on the aspects that were functioning fairly effectively. I found myself getting irritated with practically everything while watching Strawberry, which thankfully only lasts 41 minutes, including things that have nothing to do with Dave. All of the characters in the play started to sound phony, and every story point became absurd. It all begins with Dave delivering some firefighters an unusual presentation, which Michelle is purposefully watching from the back. Although I'm not sure, Michelle believes Dave is the D&C arsonist, which is meant to be the source of tension in this situation. But she's certain he's up to something, and she finds some hints that help her figure out what it might be. I'm sure it will work out, so let me just briefly explain her plan to apprehend the milk jug arsonist first. After their dispute about their mother in the last episode, she rushes to make amends with her brother Benji, but instead she finds him operating a scam on desperate gamblers in an underground cockfight dungeon. Michelle doesn't seem to care that this operation is illegal. As an aside, her super macho persona and acceptance in aggressively masculine environments are constant reminders of her woman in a man's world credentials, which is fine but a little awkward. However, it gives her the idea to tag the black plastic bags that Freddy uses to conceal his incendiary devices. In this case, Taron Egerton. Although I generally like him, his accent is really annoying, and he doesn't appear aged enough for someone who is reportedly in his third marriage. Additionally, it appears that he will likely be on his fourth before long. He still has a tense relationship with Emmett, which is hurting him and Ashley, especially now that Dave doesn't appear to be interested in being a stepfather anymore. I believe Dave leaves Emmett at cross-country training on purpose in order to work on his novel, even though he agreed to pick him up. When Ashley returns home, she is so incensed by Dave's lack of concern for the matter that she, quite rightfully, rips his book to shreds for the derivative, intellectually false, and overdone nonsense that it is. Additionally, she draws attention to Dave's intellectual affectation of wearing fake glasses while writing. Instead, by making him strange sexually, Strawberry intensifies his wicked persona. He encounters an attractive woman in the most recent grocery shop he plans to burn on fire, and he brings her to a sort of S&M dungeon, where he gyrates like a Temu Buffalo Bill while wearing a silk gown and posing pouch, before forcing her to eat strawberries and putting her tummy on fire. I suppose one benefit of looking like Taron Egerton is that she enjoys it, but it's a really absurd scene. Once more, it is totally inconsistent with Dave's slick womanizer reputation, as he is attempting to persuade Michelle to accompany him to a conference in a suite. She obviously thinks about it as well. Once more, this is a clear benefit of having Taron Egerton's appearance, but it is all ineffective in this situation. Simply said, I don't believe it. It's unclear what Smoke wants to be, and Dave's arch-psychotic behavior completely undermines Freddy's comparatively sympathetic but strangely terrifying characterization. We're getting to a point where the entire program is so ridiculous, which I don't think is intentional, although I understand that the narration in the premiere was a purposeful gag regarding the status of Dave's work. I'm not holding my breath, but there's still a potential that it will improve the situation.